Hi, I'm really excited to bring this Christ Revealed interview to you. Let's go ahead and jump in. Give me some example of maybe one example of a miracle that you feel like you witnessed.
Again, there are military, of course,
Yes.
things, and there are dozens, you know. And I don't want to talk about myself because it's him, right? It's really him. But let me give you one little thing, not a big. The big things that are in books and so on. Yom Kippur War. You know, it was 1973. This was the hardest.
Yes.
We were fighting, actually, a lisrod. It is to survive.
Yeah.
There was no one over you. No one. We didn't have. We went to all kind of missions. No maps. No ammunitions. Even nothing. It was just as a commander. I had my 24 soldiers. I wanted them to get alive.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
And during, the war started 2:00 on Yom Kippur War, and from beginning, the moment we have heard that something happens, because too many ministers were driving, with their private cars to meet in Tel Aviv, people felt something happens. So just beginning, I told my wife the code of my unit. I told her, write down the code. If you hear it, write what you hear and tell me. I will know what to do with this. I had 10 minutes to decide what I take to the war.
Wow.
I remember 56 war was only 1 week. 67 war was 1 week.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, it will be maybe 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, you take one underground, 2 others, this one this. Which Bible to take, the small one or the War Bible, I called it, right? I took the War Bible. And altogether, I was more than 5.5 months away of home. You see, from beginning, it was far away harder than everything that we passed before. And when we came to the place where we got everything ready to enter inside, there was a terrible, terrible feeling around the soldiers. Terrible. And somebody comes to me and says, Arie, you don't feel what happens here? I said, what happens here? I don't know. I'm ready. I'm preparing myself, You don't understand what happens here. Look around you. I'm looking around you, all, the unit, everyone is. You're the only one that is laughing here. Don't you see it? Mm-hmm. And then I caught myself. I looked, all faces, hundreds of people, faces like going to cemetery. Mm-hmm. And I was the only one, so I caught myself. To be like them, I cannot. Yeah. I cannot, really, I cannot. There is a joy in you that is going out, whatever passed. And I understood just from this moment that I have to be on the side of people. I have to really encourage people. And I can tell you, some of them it's already more than 40 years. So many of them fell into post-traumatic thing because of what we passed.
Yes.
That it's hard to believe. And if you ask me, look, I was in situation, very hard battle, very, very hard battle. I don't want now because it's at least half an hour to tell really, really, really in details what happened there. But the greatest miracle for me, that me and all my brothers, we are 3 paratroopers that were one in the Chinese farm, another was fighting on Suez. I was with Ariel Sharon to Ismailia, really the hardest battles. One tank commander that had to change 3 times tank because all the time he got a shell, 1 killed, 2 killed, After 1 shell in a tank, most of the people cannot go back to a tank.
Right.
You can ask them. And after all what we passed, no post-traumatic in my family, among my brothers, no any scratches. And I don't speak about the physical. I got a bullet here. Okay, operation. They take the bullet. Who knows about it? You understand? But the spiritual things, it didn't enter to any one of my brothers. And I know very well some of them what they passed. For me it is the greatest. greatest miracle. And in one of these situations was that we entered into Egyptian area. We were you have Arrowhead,
Yeah.
and we, the unit of the paratroopers, we were really
You're the
this
tip of,
point
tip of the
arrow.
spear. Yeah, yeah.
And our commander, Ariel Sharon, and he was pushing to conquer Nufeisha Junction, to conquer a certain place that is, if we conquer this is the main road from Ismailia to Cairo.
Mm-hmm.
And we were already 2-3 hours after the American and the Russians were posting on us a ceasefire.
Mm-hmm.
And we're continuing fighting. And another one is killed, and the third one, and the fourth one. And we know, and we enter into very hard darkness. And we were so inside the Egyptian area that suddenly, we have heard, stop, don't, continue forward. Just minutes before, there's 3 of the tanks that were not far from us. Every one of them got like 9 RPG shells.
Ooh.
And burning with the people inside.
Mm.
And now how to go back? I mean, we were commanded to go back to where our forces were at 6 o'clock. We had no maps. The sky was so red of the smoke of the burning. Vehicles are burning. You don't see sky. You don't see any star. One of my professionals was navigating, right? Jumping and navigating in desert, wherever you want. I couldn't see one star. I couldn't see. And, the high commander there came to me. He put on me, you have to bring us back. And I remember I looked on him. I told him, look, I have no idea where I am. Because, we're continuing north. That's what I knew. But God will bring us back. Now, if you say something like this in the army, come on, let us have another one.
Yeah.
And whatever I tell you, you do.
Right.
It's clear. He said, whatever you say, we will do. I tell you to run, we run. I tell you to jump to the right, to jump to the side. Whatever I say, I don't know what I'm going to tell you. And so we arranged all the group. We were more than 30. Most of them were wounded. Everyone that was wounded in this part could walk. But one was, his leg was cut, another one his hand. We had to carry them because they lost so much blood. And imagine now a group of 30 people like this, and I'm in front of them, all around Egyptian and Israeli. Because nobody knew where he is. Shooting all around, sudden shootings. And as we started, I saw a light. This is maybe the greatest thing that happened. I saw a light. Later on, rabbis asked me, what was this light? Describe it. And I say, I cannot describe. It was more strong than any light that I experienced. Like, when you take a tank projector and you open the projector, it can bring light to 2-3 kilometers.
Right.
They were much stronger. I remember the angle, like 15 degrees angle. And what I felt that I don't control myself anymore. That the light is controlling me. Later on, they interviewed journalists, rabbis, the soldiers, and they just repeated what I tell you. And as we continued, as we start moving, I hearing myself crying, shouting, run, run, run. And we, with all the wounded, with all this, we ran like half a minute. And just behind us, where we have been, they fell 80 millimeters, 120 millimeters, 160 millimeter artillery. It's earthquake.
Yeah.
And we are falling down. The last bomb, boom. We raise up, and I saw soldiers. It was very dark, but you can see in the eyes, that like the nerves are broken, right? And how you know, how you knew. And what they said, that I said, the light. We continued, jump to the right. Now there were holes because it was not far from Ismailia, and they prepared a sewage system, new sewage system. So they dug holes of like 10 feet on 10 feet on 10 feet, all the area. I didn't know, but we entered to this area, and I noticed that there is one of these hole, and I'm crying, jump inside. We fall with all the wounded people just inside, and we got again 160 millimeter to the hole next to us.
Oh.
And I'm talking about 10 feet. Oh. Myself, I was thrown in the air. Really, my body, right from the explosion and all the dunes, right? And falling down on one of the soldiers, right? I was sure that half of the group now are killed. And iron numbers, nobody was scratched from this. Wow. So slowly we started getting out. And people were crying. Nerves of people were broken. And again, how you knew it? Because, it was seconds from the shouting to jump when it fell. Wow. And they said the only thing that I said is the light, and this is the truth. Mm. It was like I felt, later I tried to explain to a rabbi, right, that I felt like a little piece of sewing, and this was like a huge magnet. Mm. And it catch you, and what this little metal sewing can do. I didn't control myself at all, just the light. It continued. I later on, we were sitting together trying like 45 to 1 hour. It continued this and again and again and again. And suddenly, I almost felt we are very close to our people. And in this situation, friendly fire usually is the reason why, so many. And God gave me wisdom. I didn't see any more light. It vanished. And the Lord really gave me wisdom how to make the friendly, not to get shot. When our group, right, some very famous names there, I don't want to say name in this kind of thing, they looked on us when they saw us, they didn't believe that we will be able to do it. They didn't believe. I mean, all the artillery that was following us, all this, and we are there. Yeah. Look, this appearance of this light, definitely, this was the strongest thing that happened in my life.
Thanks so much for joining us for this interview, for taking this Christ Revealed journey with us. Remember, if you haven't already, subscribe. That way you'll get notified about all the new content that's coming down the road. Comment. People want to hear from you, and then maybe you'll encourage somebody else to make a comment. If you did like it so other people know that it's something good for them to watch. And finally, share this. Send links to other people that you know and care about. Cost you nothing but maybe a few seconds of your time, but it might have a massive impact on their life. Anyway, really excited to be able to share this information with you. Thanks for tuning in.